Cobbler. I have me about 3 pounds of peaches. Got our little Argostan cornstarch. We're gonna add it. And we have our cinnamon, and then we have some nutmeg. Maybe we'll add it. We want to use some fresh peaches, or frozen. Smell great. I'm just gonna let these keep cooking enough to thaw out a little bit. Now, some people thaw them out and some people don't, but I feel like I definitely want to get them a little thawed before I start adding food. It smells amazing. And I am gonna add some vanilla extract. I've just been using a lot of the Wegmans. It's affordable. It's pretty good. Let that cook. Keep the fire really kind of low. Right, so I'm back and it's been cooking for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to start adding, the little seasoning. Okay, and they look beautiful. I love to use frozen peaches or even fresh peaches. I don't really prefer the ones in the can, but honey, I've had it with the ones in the can. But I just love how fresh they look. And I'm using the organic Wegmans brand plant-based butter. Okay. I'm just going to finish this tub. Don't worry, I have another one. Another couple in the fridge. I do have a couple more in the fridge. I'm going to keep adding the seasonings. It's always easier if you melt the butter before. Still not all the way warm. But we're just going to keep building the flavors. Starting with the butter. While that's melting, I'm going to go ahead and add some vanilla extract. That smells so good. I'm not always sure how much to use. That was the rest of this bottle. I wouldn't be able to tell you the measurement. I'm going to add some cinnamon. I've seen people use a tablespoon of cinnamon, but I'm just going to put it on, and like I said, I just use my judgment. Because I do love me some cinnamon. So we got the cinnamon, we've got the butter, we've got the vanilla extract, we got peaches. Now let me see what this is tasting like. Of course it needs to cook more. It's just thawing out. Let me see. Already I can taste the beauty of this, and I haven't even added sugar. Okay, now one thing about peaches, they are citrusy. They kind of have a citrusy taste. But once I added all that stuff, I ain't even mad at it. But the sugar or the sweetener do definitely help offset some of that citrusy taste. I'm using honey, okay? And as you can see, I love Wegmans. I find a lot of what I need there. This is a 80-ounce thing of honey. I tend to buy them big because I feel like I get more for my money. And I like honey in my tea. I don't put sugar in my tea. I don't put sugar in my coffee. I use honey. So, of course, I had to use honey for my peach cobbler. And this type of honey probably was about 20 bucks. If you look at the cost of just a small container of honey, you're probably better off just buying a big one. I didn't notice any videos that used honey. And I think it's because, I don't know, people just don't think about honey. And I was nervous myself because it's so thick. I didn't know how this was going to work. But I think it makes perfect sense because, ooh, okay, maybe I should keep the top off. I think it makes perfect sense because honey, this is a syrupy meal. So I'm just going to use what I feel enough to cover to add some sweetness to this. And you never can, to me, have too much sweetness. Most people put like a a cup of sugar or 2 cups of sugar, or 1.5 cup of sugar, and then a cup of brown sugar, that's fine. But just watching people add all that, and I'm gonna start low because I'm nervous about how this is gonna mix in. But deep down, I know it's gonna be just fine because I work with honey all the time. But honey can get quite messy, so you wanna. It's very sweet, but it's got that ring to it that from the peaches. I wasn't really expecting. But I like it. I'm trying to think if it's something else you can add to offset that. I just think once it's cooking and stuff, let me try a little bit more cinnamon. Some people put nutmeg. I don't know if I want no nutmeg. Let me see. I don't think nutmeg would hurt, but I think you would have to be very subtle with nutmeg. Because when I think of nutmeg, I think of sweet potato pie. Yeah, that honey definitely offsets that citrus. And I'm gonna add more. So I would guess that's probably why people add so much sugar, because I didn't understand it. It's to offset the sharp, citrusy, acidic taste of the peaches. I'm just letting it flow to what I would think equals about a cup or 2 of honey. But like I said, go by your taste more so than measurements, because everyone's different. Butter that I'm just gonna spread on this pan before I, it's hot because I'm crazy enough to put it in the oven like this. I just want to put a little butter. I just put the butter on the edges. I don't know how about you, but that's how my mom used to do it. Just take some butter and rub it through. So I'm just putting this on the pan just so that when I put the dough, it won't stick. Okay, I think we're good. So here we are with the Sam's, and bought these Pillsbury dough crust, which come with 6, so they were a good price for 6. And then I just roll it. Sometimes it may break. It's okay. I'm not a pro yet at removing it, but sometimes the dough wants to stick. Ooh, I don't know why it's always, I guess because it's dough. It's a little weird. Usually it's not this hard to do it. Oh my goodness. Somehow that part was really stuck. Okay. Messing up my dough. Okay, let's see how we gonna go with this. See how that looks so sticky? I'm not sure why. I've never seen a dough look like that. That where it's so sticky, but this is real life. Okay. Alright, let's see if we make this. Do we got it or what? Now, I never know if I should be using butter or flour to get this thing moving. Now, you will never see this really happen when you buy the dough. I don't know why today it's doing it. Yeah. Wow. This is not how I expected this to go. Oh my goodness. I hope this ain't going bad. Oh boy, that's not good. Let's keep it going. And just mallet, you know, this is definitely not how it normally looks. Why that's, yeah, this on another level. This when you gotta use your craft skills. used the dough longer than a week after I bought it, so I'm willing to bet that had something to do with it being maybe a little sitting in the fridge longer than a week. Alright guys, I think that's the best I got. I'm just going to add some more butter in here just to help, you know, give that surface a little love. Just to make sure it's nice and thick. So this is how the dough after recovering it looks. I'm going to go ahead and stop now. Here's this Argo cornstarch. I added maybe a tablespoon. And you know, it tells you just to add it and mix water to get the right consistency. I'm not sure if it's supposed to look watery, but we're just gonna go ahead and add it. And they say it's supposed to thicken, okay, as it cooks. Okay, so here's my mix, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in here, and I'm gonna cut up the dough and be ready to go throw it right in the oven. And I tasted, I did add another little bit more honey. So let's go ahead and put this in here. We got our corn syrup. Okay. But that is not bad for a 3-pound bag. I'm not sure how big this pan is. I would say maybe 13 to 14 inches. But look at that. Ooh, and I'm gonna add a tad bit more cinnamon on here. It tastes delicious, and I wanted mine to taste kind of peachy, you know. I wanted it to taste like I was eating a fruit, not a bunch of heavy sugar. Okay, so we got those ready. Now I'm gonna start doing my dough. I just want to make sure the peaches are spread evenly, and I didn't nick the dough. Here's my Pillsbury Doughboy that I got, thankfully, as a backup at the store. If you notice, it comes out much easier, so I didn't want to leave my Pillsbury Doughboy out there like that. It's a lot easier of a dough to deal with than what you saw me deal with. And don't judge my knife, okay? There's a story behind why this broke. Oh my goodness, I need like a roller. So now let's have the fun part. I don't know if I want it the long way necessarily. I like when people kind of do it. Yeah, because the long way just seems... So I'm just going to put them on and see where this lands me. Now this is where it gets interesting, but you know, you just improvise, make it fun. Once this thing is in the oven and cooked, you think you're gonna care if the strips are perfect? Probably, likely not. You're not gonna give one darn hoot. Okay. I don't know if that needs, yeah. See, that's because my strips, some are big, some are small. Okay. So as you can see, if I can do this, you know you can do it, right? You can definitely do this if I can do it. Because I never was a cook. When I was a child, my mother would put me out the kitchen away. But I'm gonna start with some longer strips and use these as these little awkward shaped ones as backups. So I'm just got my little thing of melted butter. I'm just adding some butter here. Now I've had the oven running. I might have started it a little too soon, but we're almost there. And I like that butter. Nice buttery crust. Now I tell you, I've been wanting some peach cobbler for a long time. Okay. Long way. Should be interesting. I like to press it into the back like that. And then take some of these smaller pieces, which I'm going to get to in a minute. I kind of want to see what I'm working with. This is so fun. I love it. I think it's so important to sometimes learn how to cook. Because I'm the type of person who grew up where my mom made all kind of meals like this. But you know, as you get older, people don't cook as much. And then my mom, I didn't really learn how to cook. So I would be waiting for other people to cook all the time. And they never seemed to make what I wanted. You know, I'd be like, man, why y'all don't like the barbecue? How come y'all don't like to have fun? Because me, I like to barbecue, eat. You know, I like to get to the fun foods. Peach cobblers and, you know, I'm just overlapping because I can never have enough crust, because I plan to use every bit of this crust. Because when I tell you, when it comes to a pie, it's all about the crust, baby. Let's see if I can overlap this way. I don't know which way is prettier. Who knows? It don't even matter. I'm just overlapping because I like that pie. I don't know. One thing, like I said, when that thing is cooking, you won't even know. You won't even know. Ooh. Okay. I like them thick crusts. What do you do when you have crust left and you love that breading on your peach cobbler? I just fold it right up in there and keep working it in every little way I can. I don't know. Maybe we're out of luck with the crust. Do we add more? Do we really like close up these things and, you know, reinforce the sides? Because I ain't about to waste not a piece of crust. I don't know. I just don't want to waste it, honey. Because once it's cooked and you see all that golden brown crust, you think you're going to care about if it's perfect. I promise you, you won't. Yeah, I figured just use it for the side, so if you need some extra breading, because once you pull this thing apart, you're going to be like, man, more crust, because them peaches going to be all over the place, right? But yeah, we're going to do our best to make this look like some type of this in the oven. Anything you do to make it pretty now is only going to look even prettier when it comes out. Okay, so this is what I have for my peach cobbler. I'm going to add a little bit more butter. I'm just using this to add butter. But I know when that butter, and I don't even care if the butter get inside the peaches, because honey, that butter just gonna make it even more smooth. Now, one thing when you're adding butter, now I don't know if people cover their peach cobbler when they put it in the oven. I'm not going to. You want that crust to cook and get. But one thing about butter, I puts it on the bottom shelf because that butter will cause your oven to smoke if you're not careful. Okay. Okay, so we're just buttering it up. To what we're doing. Some people put the eggs on the top. If you're vegan or you don't want to do all that, you don't necessarily have to, because it's still going to be golden brown whether you put an egg or not. I think, you know, to each his own, but if you're not trying to use eggs, you can just use butter. At 350 for about 35 minutes to 45, whatever it takes to let it do what it do. So I'm back, and I tapped it in the oven for about 45 minutes, and I only have this. My spatula is somewhere else all the way. Ooh, did I make it though? What? Okay. Not as bad as I was expecting it to break, so that's when you know your stuff is nice and the sauce is perfect. Okay, now ideally I would want to let it sit just to get thick, because as you can see, it is still a little runny, and a lot of that has to do with letting it heat, you know, get thicker by sitting. The sauce is going to be even thicker in a couple minutes. Okay. Very good. I still taste a bit of the citrusy taste. So I would add probably more honey, maybe a little more vanilla extract next time, but it's delicious. Some cornstarch, but look at that. Oh my goodness, Jesus. It looks amazing. Very peachy. I like a lot of bread. Only thing I do notice some watery, so maybe next time add a tad bit more of the cornstarch. But when I actually look at the pie, it looks great. You don't see anything running from it when I tilt it, so that's perfectly fine. And I am so excited about this.